It's Christopher Dixline Farm, and right now it is Monday. What does that mean to you? Nothing. I'm at work, but Marissa is at home, and she's logged on to our DVC member site, so DVC, Disney Vacation Club. She is booking our May trip. Our 7-month window is opened today, and your home resort you can book at 11 months, but at 7 months you can book any resort. So we are trying to get a very long weekend, I think Wednesday to Sunday, at Old Key West. And the reason why we want Old Key West is the points are lower at Old Key West. And we actually were able to get an extra kind of day. We were just going to go Thursday to Sunday, but now we can get Wednesday to Sunday if we have Old Key West. So she is booking the thing at 7 month though, and the reason why you got to do it at 8 a.m. right on the dot is that window is opened up for everybody who wants to book. So the most availability is right now, if those rooms haven't already been taken by people who own at those resorts. So I am just waiting for Marissa's text if we got it or not. Hey, well, look at that. So there we go. So Marissa's saying here that our initial choice would have been Boardwalk or Beach Club because it is the Flower and Garden Festival. We would have been right next to Epcot, but we decided no, let's try to spend an extra night and for the same amount of points and go for Old Key West or Saratoga. So Old Key West, we never stayed there before. That's the original DVC property. That's the first one. The rooms are a little bit bigger from what I understand. Exciting. So that's it. In May, we're going to Flower and Garden at Epcot. Yay! All right, so it's the next day. This is the big one. This is the FastPass window. So it's 7 o'clock in the morning. FastPass, for those of you who don't know, is the virtual ticketing system, the line system. You book when you want to go on certain rides. The reason why this window is important is because 60 days out, everyone is competing for the best rides. And at 7 in the morning, for a mom who wants the best vacation ever, they've already been up. I mean, they're ready to go. Moms get up at 5, they're ready. But the other thing is, when you stay on property is 60 days. For anybody who's not staying on property, except for select hotels, the reservation opens up at 30 days. So all the good rides are gone. And not only that, within 20 minutes, all the good rides are gone. Marissa's already had issues getting one or two of the good rides. It's not much is left. And the reason why not much is left is it's 60 days and then plus 6, is it?
Is it 10?
60 plus 10. So basically anybody, the window opens at 60 plus 10 extra days, your vacation. You book once. You don't log off and log back on the next day, log off and log on the next day. Any of our UK viewers who are not staying on property, that is what you have to do with the 30-day window. It's 30 days for the one day. The 60-day window is 60 plus 10, your vacation. So what that means is 10 days ago, people have already picked clean the good stuff. And of course, before then was 10 days, and before then was 10 days, and so on, and so on, and so on. So it is a military style operation. You've got to know the rides. You got to know what's worth the time. You've got to have a plan. You've got to be flexible. Having all those food reservations, of course, help kind of cement down what park you're going to be in. But let's take a look at Marissa. I mean, she's already got it written down, what she's looking for. And of course, you are dependent upon the system not crashing, which sometimes it does. The app is working, that for some reason Disney IT has not messed up. That is a lot of things to fight against. So you can see how some people really get angry at the system. The old system was you'd show up at the park and then you'd go to the ride and you'd get a paper ticket and the ride would tell you when you can come back, which means you were running all over the park. That was great for us because we didn't mind running all over the park. We were there early. We did what we could game the system, basically. The technology is now you have to know 60 days out what you're doing, what ride you want to do. A lot of pressure.
But just like I said on some forum post, somebody was all, don't you feel anxious? Well, you do, but they're just rides. You don't get it. You can stand by. You can get on the ride like normal humans. So it's not the end all be all, but it does make things easier. Especially it's like money in the bank. It's that no matter what, you're going to get on these rides, which is a good thing. But I mean, the craziness, 7 o'clock in the morning, you don't get up, you're not there, you're out. You're out of the game, kid. So, as predicted, the app, we get in there and see, is crashing.
Oh, something went wrong. Shocking. Also, the website is crashing.
Whoops. So, now you've got the extra pressure of, are other people getting in? And you've got to constantly reload. So now Marissa's.
And we just keep trying to fight the good fight.
And also, you can't just pick the ride you want and then the date. You've got to pick the park. You got to pick the date, the park, then the ride. So you can't even be flexible with like, well, I've always got to ride Flight of Passage. You've got to, click in quite a bit. But right now, it looks like the times have come back up.
So this is Magic Kingdom.
So these are the times.
Is 6 o'clock okay for Space Mountain? We won't get there till about 4 for check-in. That gives us 2 hours to go and grab something to eat.
Confirmed. 2 guests.
So now we want to pick another FastPass selection same day. So it's going to take me back to the list of things available. Who do you want it for? Chris and I.
And now we're just kind of hung, checking FastPass availability. And it's been doing this now for the last, 40 seconds or so. So
let's see if we're
going to assume the app is probably about to crash. It is 7:35. Marissa is still hard at work in the background there. You can see her. There she is. So a lot of strategy with this, because as the times show up in the FastPass, you start more getting the day planned. So while we initially jumped out of Space Mountain when we were on our arrival date at a certain time, then we kind of figured, wait a minute, we're going to have to eat dinner. If we're going to eat dinner, we're probably eating at Pecos Bill, so maybe we should do Big Thunder Mountain, which there was a ticket open. So now the days now changed slightly, and we're able to move Splash Mountain to a later time and then get a Big Thunder Mountain at an earlier time. So there's a lot of that kind of manipulating. And then, well, if this one's available, we're going to be in this section of the park. So, so it takes finagling, and Marissa is finagling. And part of the strategy is you don't want fast passes spread out throughout the day. You want them kind of grouped together earlier in the day if possible. And the reason is that when you use 3 fast passes, when you've used all 3, a 4th one will open up. You can open up the app and then book whatever's available. And we've done that plenty of times. We've been in a park and we've actually walked past a ride, seen a huge line, 30, 60 minutes, opened up the app, there's a fast pass available right now, and walk straight in, right past those people, laughing all the way. Well, those people probably had plans they couldn't change anyway. So what I'm saying is, it behooves you to try to get those fast passes a little bit earlier in the day, so that way that magical 4th pass can show up. Marissa booked all our fast passes. It took 50 minutes. 50 minutes of her time, and she's an expert. If this was your first time doing this, it either would go extremely quickly because you'd go, oh, I got my 2 things, and you wouldn't go through all the extra work, or you'd be flabbergasted. So, again, like I was saying earlier, it's 60 plus 60 days, right?
60 days plus 10 up to the length, your length of stay. So our first day of our trip is 60 days from today, so we can book a fast pass starting for our first day of our trip, including all of the subsequent 6 days that come after that.
So already the fast passes past today, the 60 days in the future may be gone because somebody already booked their full trip, and the best, most popular rides, really not, we can't even say the best, the most popular rides are going to go quicker. So it makes the most sense to save those rides to get fast passes towards the end of your trip
you're more likely to get fast passes for them.
And that's exactly what Marissa did, because she is a smart Disney person. So she said Flight of Passage, and it was like on one of our last days, and there was like only one time left.
Just one. Just one.
That's it. The rest were gone, you know. And there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these things at 60 days. At 30 days, forget it. Well, not forget it. I mean, anything can happen. People change and move times, but still, it gets very difficult. So as time goes on, as the attraction ages, the popularity will wane. But some of these rides, I mean, 5 years after the fact, and they are still extremely popular and hard to get. So you've got to book in reverse on those things, which is, for a non-Disney expert, is probably something you wouldn't do, and certainly confusing and memento-ish, you know, working backwards to the forward. So you've got to pick the last days with the best rides, and then go to the front of the trip and start filling it in. And even after you do that with your FastPass bookings, things start becoming evident, just like Memento. So, you know, Marissa was asking me, what about this? Okay, that sounds good. Oh, this time's available, but wait a minute, we're going to be on this side of the park. So you don't want to constantly be walking back and forth the park. So you got to start planning then, like, oh, well, our dinner's sort of then, or lunch we were thinking about doing this. So now it starts forming. Your day's already starting to form. And so picking just the best rides and then the times isn't really the best strategy either. You've got to kind of start figuring it out. And if you don't know the lay of the land, you don't know the rides, this all is difficult for a new person. You know, we'll be honest. Marissa's the real expert, of course. I'm a enthusiast. I am a pro-am, if you will. But if this is your once in a lifetime trip, you've got to watch a lot of vlogs and read a lot of books to be able to do this, because it does require a PhD in Disney.
So you saw some of what I was doing this morning. What you probably didn't see, because Chris wisely shut the camera off, was the many, many bad words I yelled at the screen as I was doing it, because it is a frustrating process that I do not enjoy. I enjoy Disney, everything about Disney. I hate FastPass Day because it is stressful.
So, the short of all of this is a lot of work, a lot of planning, just to make extra magic happen. However, even if all this failed, I get to be in the park with you, and isn't that the whole thing? Isn't that the whole dream,
Oh my
Marissa?
God, that's so sweet.
Is it also sweet that I got you Publix cupcakes?
Never loved you more.
From Dixieland Farm. Goodbye.